As some of you may know, the UK has gone into freedom mode, where we've lifted all of the COVID restrictions for some reason, and COVID is just out there, unchecked. So I want to talk about what not to say to people who are continuing to wear masks. So hello, if you are new here, my name is Max and I have a condition called cold urticaria, which basically means that I'm allergic to the cold. Yes, as in temperature, and wearing a mask helps me to breathe outside, which is a luxury I didn't know was a luxury until I couldn't do it. So I've been wearing a mask for almost 3 years now, and it just helps keep the warm air in and the cold air out so I don't wheeze, have chest pain, and don't struggle to breathe, which is always nice. And it's not just me that wears a mask for cold urticaria. Masks are helpful in so many situations, and there are so many reasons why somebody might choose to wear a mask, especially after COVID. You can learn more about reasons people wear a mask, which I made pre-COVID, up here. So here's 10 things not to say to people who are choosing to continue to wear a mask. Number 1, you can take it off now. This has been my pet peeve since the beginning of the year, to be honest, when we could hang out in groups of 6 outside, and then they said, oh, if you're outside you don't really need to wear a mask. As soon as that happened, I started getting people saying, oh, you're outside, you can take that mask off now. And me being allergic to cold, I often couldn't outside, because outside is where I am most allergic to cold, because it is cold outside. And it used to really irritate me because COVID is not the only reason to wear a mask. And it can be down to a safety issue, not just for you, but for the person wearing the mask. You can take it off now kind of assumes that the person wearing the mask is totally healthy, totally able-bodied, and actually physically able to take off the mask without consequences. And it doesn't just protect the person wearing the mask, it protects everybody around them too, just in case. So saying that you can take the mask off now is also putting yourself at risk. Number 2, any sentence that has the word sheep in it. For example, oh, you're a sheep wearing a mask, haha. Yeah, I'm not a sheep for wanting to live, so maybe just don't. Number 3, you look better without one. Which is really, really irritating because I don't exist to look good to you. Most of the time when I go outside, I don't really care about looking good or looking my best. Perhaps I should, perhaps that's depression talking, who even knows. But me wearing a mask, it's not really anything to do with aesthetics. It doesn't really matter whether I look better with a mask or not. Looking better will not help me breathe better. Looking better will not help me protect others just in case I have a COVID infection or even a cold. It will stop me from passing things on as readily, and I would take looking bad for that. People don't exist to just look good for you. I do not care if you think I look better, but that doesn't make it not annoying when I hear it. Number 4, you look like insert character here. Now, at the start of my cold urticaria mask wearing journey, I got compared to Fortnite characters a lot. These comparisons are actually what got me into the news in the first place and got my story told, because I ranted about it in a Facebook group and people seem to really like that angle. Very strange. If you want to know more about that sort of story, I'll put a link up here to that whole saga. But people often compare me to their favourite video game or movie characters. We've heard it. We don't care. Well, I don't care. I don't really care to be reminded that I look like somebody else. I just don't care. But it does get annoying when I hear it over and over again, because, as I have already said, I'm not in it for the looks, I'm in it for the health benefits. Number 5, butt deaf people. Hello, if you didn't know, I'm deaf. More specifically deafblind, but we'll go with the deaf on this. This is not the hot take that you think it is, because you didn't care about deaf people before this whole thing. You just don't want to wear a mask. I made a video at the start of the mask mandate, which I will link up here, about 8 ways to talk to deaf people if you don't sign but you need to wear a mask. Because a lot of us rely on lip reading. I do, especially because I'm not fluent in sign language yet. But people kept saying, oh, but deaf people, but then not actually doing anything to help deaf people when they were wearing a mask. They didn't do it before and they didn't do it after. Trying to get people to write things down for me is actually exceedingly difficult. I ask people all the time, like, hey, can you write it down? They're like, oh, never mind. I'm like, I have the pen and the paper right here. Write it on your phone. Please, just write it down. But no. So the people saying but deaf people often don't really care about deaf people. And there are also masks that have a clear window that sits on your mouth so that you can actually be lip read through the mask. You can also wear face shields. There are many ways to communicate with deaf people while wearing a mask. You just don't want to do any of them. You just want to seem like you care. Number 6. I don't know how you cope. I personally have not really had that much of a choice. I started wearing the mask, realised how beneficial it was and how much more I could do, and then I got used to it. The mask mandate here has been around for about a year now, maybe a little bit more. If you're still, I don't know how you cope, what have you been doing for the last year? This obviously doesn't go for the people that medically cannot wear a mask, this is just going for the people that are choosing not to. Number 7, it's bad for you. No, not particularly. Again, this isn't going for people who are medically exempt from wearing a mask, it might actually be bad for you. I'm more talking about the people who just don't like it and there is nothing wrong with their body that says that they can't wear one. The idea that you can't breathe in a mask, I have never understood because I wear thick masks all the time and I've never had a problem. That doesn't mean other people don't have a problem, but there are people that are healthier than me using thinner masks than me, making much more of a fuss. I often get told stories about people who got massive chest infections because they wore the same reusable mask or the same paper mask for like 3 weeks straight, and you gotta wash your masks, my guy. Mask hygiene is super important. Mask hygiene will help stop get infections, that's a sentence, and it will just make it more pleasant. There should be no strange smells, nothing should be growing in your mask. What are you doing that's happening? Please just change your filters, wash your masks and be sensible. And there have been countless doctors on countless social media platforms that have debunked the myth that wearing a mask lowers your SpO2 level in normal healthy people. So no, it's not really bad for you. Me having an allergic reaction is bad for me. Number 8. COVID's gone now. It's not. Number 9. Why do you have a sunflower lanyard if you're wearing a mask? The sunflower lanyard is not a face mask exemption symbol. It is a symbol of invisible disabilities. It existed before the pandemic and it was used to highlight people who might need a little bit more help getting around in day-to-day life outside the home. It has now been co-opted to mean mask exemption. And there are people who use a sunflower lanyard correctly for mask exemption, but it's not a mask exemption lanyard. It means that and so many other things. If you want to know more about my sunflower lanyard, I will put a link up here to what I have on my lanyard. It includes an affiliate link to keyring cards from Stickman Communications, which are super helpful accessibility tools for invisible and visible illnesses. And finally, number 10, when will you finally stop and go back to normal? Well, this is my normal. This has been my normal for nearly 3 years now. This has been the normal of most of the general public for about a year and a bit now. I don't think going back to normal is the correct thing to do, personally. This is a new normal and I really do hope that we adopt the The practice of wearing a mask when we're ill, so when we go outside we don't pass on our germs to everyone. I think that would be very helpful. For all the people preaching the economy, the economy, the economy, we can save so many sick days by somebody just wearing a mask when they've got a cold, because in some people the common cold can be incredibly dangerous, can put them in hospital, and it leads to more time off work, which apparently people have started to care about. Was normal even better? No, I don't think it was, because I used to get a lot of harassment for wearing a mask before any of this happened, because it was seen as so abnormal and strange, and I don't want to go back to that. I want masks to just be accepted in day-to-day life. That would be ideal. So I'm not going to stop and go back to normal, because normal for me was allergic reactions every time I left the house, and it's not fun. I could list many things not to say to people choosing to wear masks, but I am going to leave it at 10. So don't forget to like this video, drop a comment down below with the one thing that you don't want to hear if you're wearing a mask. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you get notified every single time I post a new video. Videos go up every Saturday at 6 PM UK time, with at least one bonus video every single month.